Hello, everyone. Hope you're all safe and well and managing in the circumstances. I thought it would be a good opportunity to share some of the results of our UKIT research. Obviously, I'd like to present those face to face. I often would do, but circumstances are such. So I thought I would have a go at doing that from my sunny residence in southeast London. So I think we need to start by saying Q1 was actually pretty respectable looking, 12.9 billion of volume for the quarter, significantly ahead of the same quarter last year, interestingly, and only 7% below the quarterly average. But, and it's a big but, Q1 also contained the largest single ever UK property deal, and alone that accounted for 36% of volume. So really generated a different impression overall. And that deal was, of course, Blackstone's 4.66 billion acquisition of the IQ student accommodation portfolio. So really did give a massive leg up to volume in Q1. I think the second big takeaway from Q1 was really how activity sort of fell away during the quarter. So we had the Boris bounce, but it never really got going. The momentum never really quite built up. And of course, we had the escalation of the COVID pandemic, obviously resulting in lockdown. And as a result of that, we note that in March, the number of deals for that month was at its lowest level since 2012. And for me, I think the third key takeaway is that overseas investors played a huge role. They accounted for a record 69% of Q1 volume. Yes, that does include the Blackstone deal that we've just mentioned, but it also highlights, if you like, the relative lack of appetite amongst the domestic buyers, particularly with the institutions, many of the retail funds still gated, and so on. So different sort of appetite between the domestic and the overseas buyer groups there. Clearly, the end of Q1 revealed that the world was pretty much being turned on its head by everything that's happened. So that really changes the complexion of 2020 completely as to what we were expecting maybe 3 months ago when we made our predictions. In terms of where it's going, I think again I'll leave you three main thoughts as to direction of travel. I think the most clear sign moving forward is that volumes will take a major hit in Q2. We're not talking about financial contagion of the crisis a decade ago, but mostly for practical reasons around the lockdown and so on. Investors will be keeping a close eye and moving to the sidelines. And because of this, we can see volumes actually slipping to their lowest level on record in Q2. How the lockdown eases and the return to economic activity will dictate how volumes rebound in Q3 and Q4. With the hopes of a V-shape scenario, there is no reason why volumes can't come back strongly and even potentially be particularly strong on the back of pent-up demand that's built up over the period we're now in. I think the second important thing to think about moving forward is not to compare this crisis, if you like, with previous economic crises. This is very different and is an induced economic coma, if you like. So how we come out of that will have a strong bearing on how the property market performs. Loan to values are reasonably in shape compared with before, and interest rates are low. So we don't really see that level of distress really coming through and hitting the market hard as it has done in the past. So for that reason, values should, or be knocked in places, hold up reasonably well. Thirdly, in terms of moving forward, the flight to quality case has never been stronger, has it, now that there's so much concern over rent collection and so on, and really the occupier market risk. And I think for us, that is really is going to be fundamental, pivotal to how things play out over the next 6 to 12 months. It's how the occupier markets fare given the lockdown. And that is really the main reason that I think investors will be taking a close watch and avoiding doing anything for the time being until they can see signs that the real economy and the occupier markets are coming back to life.